my early prediction for the Office reboot is that they are going to have an extended, like they're going to be like, oh, it's the Office, but we're remote workers or something like that. That's my early prediction for this Office reboot. Is that they're going to have a big tie-in for remote workers versus like in-person office guys.
All right, Lights, Camera, Barstool, movie news and notes. Final week of September. Jeff D'Lo, Ken Jack, and assistant coach of the Bengals, Gooch.
They need me. They need me. They're 0-2, and when your team is 0-2, you gotta put the gloves on, get in the film room. Zach Taylor seems like a nice guy. I'm not sure. I'm still unconvinced on whether or not he knows how to coach a football team.
Yeah, no, can't relate to being 0-2 anymore.
Congrats to Ken Jack on being engaged now.
Yes, that was. I got engaged in front of my favorite monument, the thing that got destroyed in G.I. Joe Retaliation by an acid rocket while Channing Tatum tried to save it. That's
the only reason people still go there, I heard.
Exactly. It would have been that movie saved the tourism of Paris.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a joke, but Ken Jack did get engaged. Congrats again.
I did get engaged. It was
last week.
Keeping that secret was. I hate keeping secrets. I hate it more than anything. That was rough, but it was a very fun time. And
that is like the ultimate life secret too. Like that is the thing that except I guess you're supposed to like not tell people you're having a kid for a certain while, but like that is like in terms of a personal secret, that is pretty brutal.
Yeah, very few people knew. It was like my mom, and then I had to tell her friends because they were trying to advise her to wear something sporty that day. And like I was like, so I had to text my son and be like, "Don't fucking do that." And I've been wearing like fucking spandex to go get engaged.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, literally, like that was it. It was funny.
Congrats to Ken Jack. Let's get into some movie news. We have a pretty big one off the top. The writer's strike is coming to an end. 146 days, almost a full half year. WGA, AMPTP, reached a tentative deal. SAG still on strike.
Yes.
So the actor side of things still on strike. Though I'd imagine this is a pretty big domino that'll wrap up. And that's based on nothing. I could be wrong, but I'd assume that's going to wrap up rather quickly now that this is done. Good. Get back to work. Let's do some shit. Let's get the movies. Things got delayed. Dune getting delayed is a bummer. Like let's get the things working again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it feels like it's been a while, right? It's great. I think they've been the longest so far, right? By a pretty decent margin. DGA was pretty quick.
This was, I think, the longest in history.
Yeah, a very long time. But well, again, the writers are what makes this work, and we're going to see, I'm sure, with some of the programming that comes out over the next 6 months, a year and a half, something like that. Some really bad things, or shows wise and writing wise. But
oh yeah, I mean that's.
We're gonna have heroes
par for the course, though. There's always bad things. That's the thing. Yeah. People are gonna immediately. I mean, our next story, we'll talk about it, but like immediately, people just blame everything on the writers, and it's like,
yeah,
if it's a dumb project, like a lot of these reboots, remakes, it's not the writers pushing for these for the millionth time,
studios,
or
man,
stupid reality shows, shit like that.
Right.
Like writers don't want to write on that. They want to make their own stuff.
Exactly.
They can get back to work and start doing that.
The dude that has his original idea has been working on for like 6 years, and he pitches to a student like, actually, we're going to be spending all of our quarterly budget on the Office reboot. Like, that's just what's going to happen.
Or they'll pitch an original idea, and they'll be like, how could you tie this into an existing IP?
Exactly. Yeah. It's how it works. But shout out to the writers. They deserve it.
And also shout out to the people on Twitter who had their whatever. Like this is probably mean, but there were people who like were almost like using it as clout, pretend like they're not writers. They were just like movie fans.
Yeah.
And they were like almost using like the strike as if they were on strike. Which
they're on the picket line.
I understand standing in solidarity with them. Like shout out to the writers. They deserve absolutely more money, and so did the Screen Actors Guild. There's people who deserve a lot more money than they're getting for the projects that are making millions. But there's some I'm like, okay, come on.
We did it. It's like, what the fuck? What'd you do?
Also, Jeff, you're not on TikTok, or at least not as much as like Ken Jack and I are.
Oh, I know.
Fortunately for you.
The TikTok people, every other clip we'd post, there'd just be like 3 people in the comments like, how are you talking about this right now? It's like, dude, I'm not on strike. I'm sorry.
Performative
I got a job.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
It's performance art for people, dude. It's crazy.
It is. It's just like, it was ridiculous. But no, glad that's done. The things, I mean, you were starting the cracks were really starting to form of like, like Disney's going to lean harder into Monday Night Football on ABC now because there's no writer's strike. You know, there's just like, there's little things here and there that were becoming obvious that they were going to have to resort to some pretty boring tactics if you like watching fictional things. So that is good. Hopefully the Screen Actors Guild is next. But Gooch, you mentioned something that we're going to talk about next is kind of related to that in terms of reboots or old properties. This has been in the works for a long time, ever since Peacock launched. I think like 3 or 4 years now. The Office is being rebooted at NBC Peacock with the U.S. Showrunner Greg Daniels returning. Obviously, this is a show that has existed in multiple variations. The U.S. version is based on a short, classic British comedy called The Office. But again, it wasn't on very long. It's like the British don't like putting things on very well, except for Doctor Who's been on for 900 years.
900 minimum.
The Office, like where you've heard Ricky Gervais make the quote before, he talks about how short and condensed it was, and perfect to the point. The U.S. Office ran long, but they are going to reboot it. There had been like talks about who'd be back, who wouldn't be, characters and stuff. I guess they need it. I've seen some videos on YouTube and some breakdowns about how The Office has just completely lost its stronghold in like active pop culture because of the move to Peacock off Netflix.
Yep.
Obviously, it's still very relevant, but the difference in relevance and social pop of The Office is very different than it was a few years ago on Netflix. And clearly, that's a sign that Peacock is not hitting. It's not doing what it needs to be doing.
Yeah, not a show I think that anyone really wants to be rebooted. I doubt even really many of the fans, except for the ones that like the second you're that type of star of a sitcom where you need to then make a podcast about your time doing that show, which there are members of the Office that do that.
They're like every single one of them.
Yeah, it's like they definitely want it happening, but like the bigger stars that moved on, obviously, I would assume want to just leave, like let a very well respected sleeping dog lie. I think got a rap as, or at least I got a rap as an Office hater, not an Office hater, not a fan of the people that was.
It's one of the most exhausting franchises to talk about, I think, ever.
It's a very exhausting fan base, especially the Netflix fan base of it versus like the original airing fan base. But I already have an early prediction. My early prediction for the Office reboot is that they are going to have an extended, like they're going to be like, oh, it's the Office, but we're remote workers or something like that. That's my early prediction for this Office reboot. Is that they're going to have a big tie-in for remote workers versus like in-person Office guys. And I also like, why?
I didn't even think about that.
Why would Steve Carell come back to this? I feel like he's moved on to like prestige stuff.
No, there have been some rumors of some certain people coming back. I don't think any of that's like set in stone, but I think you're right. I think it'd be a much more modern day twist, and that's just
that can work. I mean, workplace comedies will always work because it's just relevant no matter the time you're living in. But I don't think this will be good, to be honest. Like without Michael Scott, without Steve Carell, if you don't bring back Krasinski, as much as like people like to shit on Jim, he was one of the reasons that show worked. Rainn Wilson, does he come back?
He'll go back. Oh, I think Rainn Wilson's ass will be there.
Yeah, so Rainn Wilson 6 years ago probably not
back for sure.
Oh yeah, everyone else.
Brian Baumgartner, he'll be there.
BJ Novak is a big like. If you can't get that writing back, like BJ Novak, Mindy Kaling writing back,
them would be back.
No, I think they're way too big for it now. I have to do a streaming comedy. I don't think it'll work, but the discussion around it already is just fucking miserable. Like hopping in there, like the people, like the big one is you couldn't make this show today. It's like, dude, it was a network comedy. There's like way worse stuff on television. Even now that streaming has blown up, people get away with putting shit out that's just way more aggressive. Mm-hmm. Like South Park is still airing. They just renewed Always Sunny for 2 more years. Fucking Kidsmaker was like very vulgar and was very well received. Like you could still make vulgar stuff. It's just like I don't know where
I'm doing a rewatch right now. I've mentioned it here and there. Like I'm just a very light rewatch, like here and there. Like well, maybe like at night when I'm winding down. And the early seasons, there's definitely things that I guess you couldn't do, and I solely mean that in the fact that like there's just words you wouldn't say on TV anymore, and like, but I think the subject matter and things they're like tackling can be there now. It's just a matter of the people behind the show and if they actually want to do that, and I don't know if they will. That's I think the bigger thing is that will they want to like not push the limits, but like make jokes. And talk about things that are maybe like mildly uncomfortable. Like that's what made the original couple seasons of The Office so good. I don't know if they will. Like I don't know if they'll maybe try and.
But even that,
I don't know if I would
cater to it and like be cringy. That's what I would worry about.
I don't think they talk about stuff that's uncomfortable in that way. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like they're like, oh, we got to get into like the society and race here. It's like that was never it. They put you in uncomfortable situations for comedic effect.
Yeah,
and like,
there's a couple examples of like I don't know if they would do this now. But solely because like I think they would replace it with something else that's maybe more like relevant. I don't know. Like but I think like the main things in terms of like of like what they used to do, and if they still do on TV, they still do, except like there's just a couple words they may not say.
Yeah, then that's the thing. It's like if you can't find the same joke which works operatively exactly the same because they don't say a slur in it, then that wasn't a funny joke to begin with. You know what I mean? Like that's not what made those jokes funny.
And I'd argue they might be able, depending on where they air this, it sounds like it's going to go straight to Peacock and not NBC because they want to build up that peak. Yeah, they want that Peacock. They want that streamer to take off more than it has. They've struggled so far, but it's going to go to Peacock where you can get away with doing a lot more than you could have done on network television. So
I guess my question more is, will they know will they know that like they don't really have to change anything because it was fine, or are they going to like overcompensate and make it like not corny and cringe? Like, I don't know. Like that'd be my biggest question.
I think they'll still do that same style, same everything, really, because people still watch the show. That's the thing. It's like people act like it's
right.
It's offensive and it's like this outlier comedy, and it just isn't. It's populist, and it's one of the most popular things that ever hit television universally. Yeah. So like, I don't see them changing things up. Because it's 2023.
Yeah, this crude, nasty comedy, The Office. My kids watch this show. What are you thinking? Like, it's fucking network, man. It's like, what are you talking about?
So I guess that's coming back. So The Office, more of that happening. Not necessarily a good thing, but also kind of like just kind of whatever to me. I think some of the reactions a little over the top. It's like, all right, it's not. This is not. They're not redoing.
It's going to ruin the original, Jeff.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they already, the U.S. version is literally based on what they're doing right now. They're just going to modernize it.
I love all the names.
It'll work, though. I kind of doubt it's going to work, to be completely honest.
No. Like I said, if you don't have that writing, it just doesn't. Yeah. BJ Novak was a great writer. Really great.
Good writer.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to do everything. It's going to be so out of place. You know what I mean? It's going to feel like a lot to me, like a lot of the episodes of the Futurama reboot they did, where it's just like we need to make a COVID joke. We need to make a streaming joke. We need to make this joke. Like they're going to try and go through all the everything in the time frame between when The Office ended and now and hit every one of those jokes, and it's going to be
or great. The Arrested Development reboot. Just no one Arrested Development fans just don't even address it.
Yeah, it didn't exist.
I still like season 4 though. Season 4 was shot in a weird order because of the availability of that. I think season 4, when you complete it, is very good. The rest are not so good. Season 4 has some stuff that's like very funny, I think. Warner Brothers offering a new sports package on Max, formerly known as HBO Max. 65 NBA regular season games, NBA All-Star Weekend.
Max Sport Package. I saw the fappening. Scherzer and Upton. You know what I'm talking about right here? The Max Sports Package. I just thought of that. I wish I thought about it more for a better delivery.
That was Max? That was... Okay.
Oh, wait, it wasn't. It was Justin Verlander.
Different guy.
Fuck.
Right, they were Tigers at one point.
Damn.
Inside the NBA March Madness. 60, which obviously March Madness, Turner, all that, Warner. 60 regular season NHL games, Stanley Cup playoffs, MLB postseason, MLB regular season, and more. I mean, they're basically just making a TV package with like some sports.
Yeah,
that's
a good idea. I mean, it's worked before.
Now, which
we'll be free until March 2024, which is pretty funny because if you read that, it says March Madness, meaning I'd assume they're trying to play it into where like you have to buy this to watch college basketball games, but also like you can also watch college basketball games for I think mostly free.
Yeah,
during the tournament, depending on how you sign up,
and then watching Practical Jokers on True TV as well. But my big question is, which universe of Zaslav does this fit into? Because he already has all of his established univri with 90 Day Fiance, Game of Thrones, but this doesn't fit into any of those. Is David Zaslav creating a new sports universe?
It definitely goes to like the dude's rock tier. Remember, he's like,
This is part of the
dude's
male skewed.
This is part of the Space Jam universe.
The male skewed fucking universe. Zaslav. It is so funny how universally disliked that man is. Like, just hated across the board.
He needs a defender.
And that's you. You're in a white knight for David Zaslav.
I didn't say me.
He's not gonna fuck you, bro. Just that's what you should do. You got verified, right? Like, pay for it. Yeah, we all do. It's not. I'm not shaming you. Just reply to every like tweet about David Zaslav. Like, actually, he's a great man. Like,
he's a great man.
You're talking about.
Just start making up stories.
Yeah, just because that guy hired to run CNN plus he fired after 6 months doesn't mean he's a bad guy. He made a mistake. We all make mistakes.
Fucking Zaslav. He's gonna tell people that he's the one who saved the strike too. You know he's.
Oh yeah. Bob Iger. If Bob Iger wasn't an idiot, like Zaslav would be eating so much more shit. Like all he had to do was stand out of the way.
Mhm.
Fucking Iger, man.
Zaslav?
What an idiot.
First trailer for first full teaser for Percy Jackson series coming to Disney Plus. Premieres December 20th. This is very much not for us. This is definitely for kids, maybe young teens. But I will say the production value looks very high on this.
You think so?
For a kid show, yeah.
Okay, yeah, for a kid show.
Like there's definitely an element of like this seems like something they want and / need to be good, because they want people on this platform. I don't know. I don't know. Do we know how much Percy Jackson resonates with the audience it's intended for right now? Like, is it still
considerably?
It still pops for that audience range.
I'm just going off like the people in our office, because we do have a lot of, Gen Z, like younger Gen Z or middle Gen Z, 20 to 24-year-olds. They were talking about it quite a bit when the trailer dropped. But again, it's clearly not made for like older Gen Z or, the 20 to 24-year-olds.
Definitely younger. I would say, a level below, right? Like, it's definitely a kid show.
Agreed. So do kids still read Percy Jackson is my question. Like, is that still a very popular book series with kids? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my question.
I haven't heard anything about
my question.
I can't say I've heard much about Percy Jackson other than people saying they wanted this show to be good. You know what I mean? Like, that's basically it. It's people like are roughly closer to our age where they're like, oh, I used to love these books. I hope this is good, better, or at least better than the movie. And I'm down for it. I mean, I never read the books, but I love Greek myth stuff when I was younger. Shout out Age of Mythology, one of my favorite games on PC. And anything that will indoctrinate kids into the old school Greek myth lore, I'm down. Let's do it. They love fucking.
We want pagans.
They love creaming. Zeus would just come down and have a new kid every 5 minutes. It was just, there was a crazy shit going on. Just don't watch Wrath of the Titans when you're done. Or what was the other one with? Because they made two. The Liam Neeson. It was Wrath and Clash.
Was it like Wrath of the Gods too? Wasn't
it was
like
Wrath and
Percy
Clash of the Titans
Jackson.
Was the two. And it's Sam Worthington and like how they got Ray Fiennes to do that. I have no idea. It was Ray Fiennes was Hades and Liam Neeson was
probably
Zeus.
his kids. That's why he did Harry Potter.
That's fair. Yeah, but that was, I think, a way easier.
It was on Broadway for a few years, I believe. No, 16-week
Titans?
limited run on Broadway. But Percy Jackson, there was a Lightning Thief musical. It started in like 2014 or something, or around 2015, and was in the UK. And
I will say, I do think Walter Scobell is like that he's next, cool. He's that next big child actor. Like everything he's been in, he's very charismatic for a child actor.
Adam Project, man, he rocked in that.
Yeah, like he's got some chops to him. So that's a good lead. But outside that, also the discussion around this one's going to be obnoxious too, for obvious reasons. But outside that,
right? That's where it's like I always go back to the same thing when we talk about what is for you and what isn't for you. And there's always one that pops to me, and that is the Kim Possible live action thing they made for Disney.
Oh yeah.
And the way people reacted to that was like one of the grossest things I've ever seen on Twitter. It was like, you're a fucking weirdo. Like people reacted so negatively to it, and like this is very clearly for 12-year-olds.
Yeah,
it's like you're 35 years old. Shut the fuck up, you freak.
Percy Jackson returned.
I want to say like Possible's like kind of hot as a cartoon. I'm like this is a show for kids after they get home from 4th grade. Fucking weirdos. It was so strange.
Percy Jackson definitely returned at least 15 punts for touchdowns during his collegiate career.
It is a great football name.
It'd be perfect.
Trailer for Old Dads coming out to Netflix.
Yeah.
October 20th stars Bill Burr, Bobby Cannavale, Bokeem Woodbine, which every time I see Bokeem Woodbine, I just want to rewatch.
Guy's a beast. Boardwalk Empire.
First of all, he
Fargo,
was in
Fargo.
Was he in a couple years ago?
I always forget he was in the Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was the fist guy, not Mephisto. He had the lightning.
He's
fists or
Shocker.
Something. Really?
Right?
How's his name?
Isn't that what it is?
He was a Shocker.
Yeah, he was correct.
Yeah, in the first one. Yeah.
Wait, this is it? Or am I doing this?
Yeah. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't have to say it. You could have said and then Superfinger was this. Right? Okay, I got it right. I think the Superfinger Shocker combo. I hit my girl with that last night.
Then I hit her with a Kool-Aid Man impression. Oh yeah.
So this is a movie directed by Bill Burr. written by Bill Burr's voice. Talked about it a lot recently. Definitely, the trailer is. We'll get to if we want to see it or not, and what we think about it. The trailer is absolutely, clearly like things he would say in stand up about being a father.
Yeah.
The trailer is not great. I don't think. I
Nothing
love
special.
Bill Burr, but it just seems like one of those things we talked about a lot recently. It's like you can tell when a movie is written for a certain demographic by certain. This is clearly written for like, I guess, an older crowd who can relate to like, you know, being an older dad. Hence old dads. But like, there's younger dialogue in this that kind of made me oof.
Yeah,
Made me cringe a little bit watching it.
I love Bill Burr, but holy shit, this is like if someone tried to write Bill Burr jokes. That's what
Well,
it
he kind of
felt
always
like.
says fleek in the first 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I feel like this happens sometimes with bigger comedians where it's just like they just kind of like throw an idea at a wall and they don't expect a studio to say yes, but they're famous and have enough momentum where the studios do say yes and they're just like, oh, what do I do now? You know what I mean? Like they didn't think it would work and it just happened to work out. But I mean, Bill Burr's excellent. I like most of this cast. A lot of good comedic minds too. I mean, even you go down the list. Obviously, you mentioned Bobby Lee, Natasha Leggero.
He apparently worked pretty hard on like getting this made from what I've read. So like, I mean, I hope it's good. I hope it's better than maybe the trailer shows. Comedies are notorious for that, where it's much better. Sometimes it's much worse in the trailer just because all the good jokes are in the trailer, and sometimes it's much better because the good jokes aren't in there.
I'm Bobby. I'm from Houston, Texas. I love Ivan Rodriguez. You guys hear about these you about these Rangers? That's gonna be his
what
new
was that
bit.
movie called?
Thunder or
So
something.
Thunder Force was.
That was it, wasn't it? Wasn't he the biggest Seattle fan in Thunder Force?
No, that was a different movie with Melissa McCarthy. That was like that was where like the Siri takes over or something.
Oh, you're right. It was like no, not Jexy. That was the Adam Devine
Superintelligence.
Superintelligence, yeah. Oh, just like my favorite guy. It's so stupid.
Hey, baseball. You don't play baseball, my favorite
Kenny
guy,
Griffin.
Ken Griffey. Yeah, kid. You ever see Griffey? Yeah, that was a bad.
I just want that to be
movie.
his bit. I want him to be like just a diehard like baseball fan of like a different team in every movie. It was Adrian Beltre.
Oh my god.
Ian Kinsler. This guy can really play.
I don't know. I don't think it looks very good. But again, it's a tough thing to really judge. You kind of have to. I don't know. You kind of have to give it a chance because it's tough to tell. But the trailer wasn't very promising. Last thing, this is a big one from Netflix. They clearly spent an ass load of money on this. Squid Game, but like the competition. They're doing the actual Squid Game competition. They're not going to murder contestants, obviously.
That's so lame. That's so soft. That's so soft.
$4.5 million prize, the biggest prize in the history of reality competitions. Releases on November 22nd. Mr. Beast already did this, by the way.
And I want him to do it again with a bigger prize just to fuck with Netflix.
Yeah, like I
just do a $5 million prize.
He already did this, and he did it to an unbelievable level too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was like one of the most insane production values on a
like
YouTube video I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's incredible. But I mean, I don't know. This seems way too late to be doing this. And also, the people said it completely goes against like the whole point of the show, which is very funny and like the commentary they're trying to make. But I also get why they did it. Like whatever, it makes sense.
I quoted it with that tweet that everyone uses for it, which is so funny. Where it's like, "Don't make the Torment Nexus my new book," and then tech company's like, "We finally made the Torment Nexus from the famous book. Don't create the Torment Nexus." It's just what it is. And I think this is doubly dumb because like obviously way too far gone from Squid Games being like a big cultural phenomenon, but like also Mr. Beast just did it. Like he just did it. People liked it or didn't like it, whatever. Like I don't see how much more different you could make this, where like like people are really really just into it. Again,
no.
Part of the reason that people in the Squid Games universe wanted to watch it is people were fucking dying, and like I don't think anyone here wants anyone on there to die. Nobody, right?
Dude, PC culture these days in 2023.
First they come for The Office. Now they won't kill contestants on Netflix.
Fucking
Fucking at least break a leg or something or no. It's stupid. I just do the same thing and don't call it Squid Games. Like I have a great cash prize, do obstacle course shit just like the last time, and I feel like you still have people invested. But if you just say, "Hey, we have the biggest cash prize for a reality contestant ever," you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean. There's just better options for game shows out there too. Like, there's other things you could do reality
Yeah, do the
competition
dozen.
wise. Yeah, exactly. Do the dozen. Come on.
You pick Netflix. That's your next move. Pick up the dozen. If you lose,
Yeah, Ted Sarandos hit Jeff's line.
if you
Come on.
lose your niche, you get your arms chopped off. If you miss your phone a friend, we'll work out a full list of punishments for him.
Frank the Tank loses a limb because Nick can't think of the Pokemon.
This is very morbid.
That's
this
not
is
gonna be
very
one of
morbid, but would it be the most watched thing ever if they were like, yeah, someone dies?
Yes, it would. It would.
If you said that, yeah, people would be tuning in. It'd be for a multitude of reasons, but people they'd be clued up. They'd be ready to go.
Like it would absolutely be it'd be the most watched thing. Yeah, yeah. Again, very
Kanza.
morbid, not happening, but it's like a very funny. Like, imagine
Captain
they
Khan's
really
on the
wanted to
dozen
make
games.
like, the buck they needed to make.
Fucking White Sox Dave saying Fred McGriff on the dozen games or whatever.
That's it. That's it for news.
Wait. Taylor Swift went to the Chiefs game.
That's
Yeah,
true.
she didn't go to the Chiefs game.
Famous Eagles fan Taylor Swift. Damn shame. She had to go to the.
We just
the
have to
Chiefs.
get our takeoff there.
We do have to
Just-
get our takeoff. Yeah.
Everybody's just everybody.
Amsterdam actress Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
is
There we go.
Smashed
potentially
by a
dating
car.
Travis Kelce. Has he been in any movies?
Oh, that's coming if he hasn't already.
Was it kind of fucked up in Amsterdam for them to like trans or let's say we'll say it what do you call it? Whitewashing to cast Taylor Swift as Liz Gonzalez in that movie? Yeah, Jeff remembers she got smashed by the car in Amsterdam.
I'll say this: Taylor Swift did not go flying.
No, right under the wheels. But no, that was who cares? Popular guy dates popular girl. The discourse around it. People like Taylor Swift fans being, oh, I don't want him to date him, or Chiefs fans being like, oh, it's bad luck. Like, who cares? Hot guy dates hot girl.
Yes, congrats to them on either being a couple or being friends. That's it. For Gooch and Kenjek, I'm Jeff Yellow. Make sure to like and subscribe. Like the video if you can. Subscribe to the channel, please. Would help us out a ton. That's it. We'll talk to you next time.